It's better to like draw a character and then do like a key illustration of some kind though, because I feel like key illustrations do have story, and then you can like think of a story that way. I wrote a story inspired by like this. I could write a story inspired by this, even though I kind of know what's going on in the game. So I've made this. I could write a story inspired by that. They're stand-ins for other characters that I didn't have. Character and environment, like in a environment of some kind, you could probably quickly come up, or you could come up with a story for that. There's always like implied story. I've been writing a novella just for fun. No one will ever see it, but I did a bunch of concept art for it. And it helped me like write scenes. So look at her. I got more. Oh wait, no, it was last month. It's already June. Oh my god, there's so many. All right, I made a whole arena. The way these are shaped were not supposed to be like, the way they look. And then I made the outside. This is like a huge model because all that stuff we just saw, all this stuff is in there. Like the more efficient way to do this would be, to me, make this a separate file and this its own thing. But no, it's all in there. And then I made the whole city, kind of. It's really badly made, but like like it's not actually like built, like there's floating stuff here. It's just like a scatter geometry node thing. I just needed it to look like there's a bunch of buildings for nobody but me. Like no one's gonna see this. I slowly started adding more characters. Oh, are we done with that stuff? I did mess around with Bink Trinkle recently. Only because I made a bunch of buildings and I didn't know what to do with them, so. I redesigned her. It's a drawing no one's ever seen. I ran around a lake recently and then made the path that I ran. Hold on, there's more. And then I used that. This is also a part of the story. She gets tied to a tree. I didn't delete her. She was from the other images. But yeah, all this dirt, these are like photos. The leaves are like, I took photos of those and made textures. The rocks. The trees could be better, but also she totally like this wouldn't happen to her, but whatever. It's in the novella that I'm writing. It's a scene in it, but like it wouldn't. She would never be in this predicament. She would just kill everybody. So I'm like breaking my own canon. I started adding like a waterfall. Oh, I remade a Norman Rockwell painting. Do I have it? I mean, I did it in like 30 minutes, so like I did the quick remake. I had to buy this car. This car was $4 for that 3D model right there. But now I should have added some trees. I could have just like gotten a photo of a tree that looks like that, put it in the background. These branches would have been a little bit tougher. But yeah, even from that, you could totally come up with a story, which was, I guess, the point of showing all that stuff. Do I have any other random stuff? This is my remake of the Conan the Triumphant intro, like prologue, but with Raven instead. I mean, and then I just messed around. But this is the right setup, though. It's like a statue. Some sorcerer is trying to like resummon the statue. Doesn't work, so they have to go steal stuff now, just like every Conan book. Wish there was a way to like find a way to use all that stuff. Kind of seems like it all goes to waste, like it's all kind of useless at a certain point. I do have like another Tifa image planned out. Similar to the one I did yesterday. We got this one. Just like a nice wide shot. She's playing Final Fantasy X on the screen there. She's stretching. You gotta stretch. You gotta get up and stretch. Or you will contract herpes. It's true. All right. But yeah, so anyway, I'm like, I think design a character, then put them in a scene of some kind. It's probably not gonna be like detailed in 3D like the ones I just showed, but you could still just I don't know, boom, person, I don't know, they're in a alleyway. I don't know. Obviously, you could go at it randomly, or you could actually have a plan. I think random is funner. That's what I like, randomization, because you don't have to think as hard. But then it just becomes something, though. It's like, oh, what are they? They're in an alleyway of some kind. I don't know. Why are they there? What are they? Who are they looking for? Are they shopping for something? Are they shopping? That's a boring story. So no, maybe they're. Actually, that is a Conan. Now I'm thinking of a Conan scene where he goes to like a antique shop and buys just a totally random object, and it just so happens to be the object that the evil sorceress is looking for. So it could be. So I could go down that route. Then I just got a whole story. Now I think of the entire Conan story. I have an entire story that is a total knockoff of another story, but I'll find ways to change it at some point. I'll find a way. I've been reading a lot of. All right, let's go. You know what? It's book time. It's been a while. Hold on, let me see. I can save this. It's been a while. I've read some more books. And I've had a few realizations of book stuff. What have I read? Okay, when's the last time I did this? I don't even know. What's the okay. Hold on. Good thing I keep a list of stuff I've read. Do I have Swordswoman? Yes. Swords. Do I have Demon Breed? Yes. Dragons of Autumn? Yes. Conan the Triumphant? Yes. Stoner? And yeah, okay. Conan the Invincible. Did I have that? Okay. Conan the Invincible, first out of the 8 or the 7. I'm gonna give it a D, because it like when it started pretty good the first half, and then the pacing was really good, and then the second half it just like died. If I recall, it got like really boring. For the second half, it was just like, all right, just kill him already. You don't need to do any of this. But it's definitely not down here with these 3. I don't know. Definitely above Tarnsman. Definitely above Demon. It might be like the best D, I guess. Cannery Row might be better than I gave it credit for. I don't know. I think it's definitely. Demon Breed is basically like proto Tomb Raider. So if you like Tomb Raider, it's just a straight up like Tomb Raider. If you've read like Tomb Raider comics, it's exactly like a Tomb Raider comic. And then the ending sucks. What else did I read? I'll make a cyberpunk Conan story. Angel Down. Oh, Angel Down. I gotta go find. So Angel Down is a. They said it was a horror. It was classified as a horror novel. It recently won the Pulitzer Prize. So that's what got my attention. I was just like, oh, horror novel and Pulitzer Prize. That doesn't happen very often. I think the last time that happened, I think they were saying was like 70 years ago or something. But it wasn't, I wouldn't classify it as horror though. It's World War I. They find an angel in the middle of no man's land, and then they just basically like travel around with it, trying to figure out what to do with her. And then she like may or may not have powers, and it's all written in one sentence. So it felt like it was like a book version of like an Oscar bait movie, you know? But it was still kind of like interesting enough to get it like a, I guess. It's like an interesting like little piece of art but it also felt like it was like trying too hard or whatever, you know. It was written by the Daniel Kraus is a screenwriter that works on Guillermo del Toro movies. So it also kind of had like those vibes to it. And I didn't know that while reading it. I learned that afterwards. But like while reading it, I was like, this feels like a Guillermo del Toro movie. And then I was happily validated by that. I don't know if I could recommend it. It's more on like the literary side of things. But reading this book for me sent me on a literary journey, because the next book I read after that, I got back to Anna Karenina. I do like a book. It's separated into 8 books. So I read like a book at a time every once in a while. I read book 3. It was, I don't even know how to. All right, there's 3. I don't know how to classify. I'm going to give it a B. I don't know. And then I read Mrs. Dalloway, which, hold on, where did I save it? Nope. Oh man, these book covers are way better than the ones I got. God damn it. I would have taken any of these book covers over the one that I got. I got this boring one right here, but man, these other ones look so much better. That's so much better. Oh. It was it's literary, written in like 1925. I'm gonna give it an A because it like helped put a lot of. It was almost like a deconstruction of like old books, which helped them put them all in a sort of. It gave me a way to like understand older books better. So it was boring. I don't think I could recommend it, but I'm going to give it an A. I don't know, like old books get their own little, I have to like think of a way to like rate them differently than like modern books because they're so different. So, and then I also read The Sound and the Fury yesterday, actually. Which was a, oh my god, like, again, it's hard to explain. It's like the ultimate, like, vibes book. Hold on, I'm having trouble finding the book cover. Okay. I'm going to give it an A. William Faulkner. It's a weird book to read because it's confusing. But you kind of get you kind of like get what's going on pretty quickly on. And there's also like really cool, I haven't read a book with like good twists in it in a while. This book had really good like twists, like something that happens towards the end of every chapter that makes you like rethink the entire chapter and go, oh. But it is very confusing, and you have to, if you read this, you just have to like go into it knowing you're gonna be confused. You're supposed to be confused. That's like the whole point of it. It seems like he's trying to do the best he can to like actually write down like actual thinking like the way people think in their mind is what it seems like he was trying to do. Because, you know, I'm thinking about this book cover, and then I'm thinking about the library I was in. You know, when I read it, I've been going to the library lately. I bring my own books to the library. I was thinking of like all of a sudden I'm thinking of the chair I was sitting in, how it smelled like farts, and how like, oh my God, you have the realization of like, oh my dude, this chair has been farted into for decades, and probably nobody has done anything about it. I'm sitting on like decades worth of farts while reading The Sound and the Fury. And so he does a good job of like getting that like thinking pattern like into words. And yeah. And then he does it for like 4 different characters. So I think that's his like claim to fame, is like all his books have they deal with like 15 different characters. Okay. Is that it? And I've been reading like slowly. I've been reading War and Peace. So I'm like, is it gonna go? Is it gonna work? Oh, I have to press enter. Oh my God, hold on. Gotta press enter here. Okay. This is not the book cover that I have. So it's probably gonna be a while before I finish this book. It's hard to like really give it a rating at the moment. It's pretty boring, I'm not gonna lie. But again, it's like one of those older books where I have to like rethink of how I actually... It almost like doesn't matter what I think. I don't know. And then Middlemarch is another book I've been slowly... Oh man, this is my book cover, but not the right... It's a bad resolution. Also in progress. I wish I could read it faster, but my brain turns to mush after like 45 minutes of reading this. So hell yeah. But yeah, I'm about 450 pages into this one. Oh yeah, so I wanted to, like, Mrs. Dalloway did a good job of pointing out like what these old books do, like how the mode of storytelling they have chosen. And maybe like I'm sure like all stories do this, even modern stories do this to a certain degree, but like back then that like it feels like it was more of a... I'll say it first and then okay. So imagine you have a character walking through a park. This is like, I don't know, a fountain park. And this is the thing that happens in that book. Benches. These are benches. And then there's like people, whatever, doing their own thing, standing by the fountain. She's just walking through it to get to the other side. She has her own story. We know her story and backstory. And then as she's walking through the park, we see and hear every other person's opinion of her. And then also we get their backstory. So obviously it becomes, you know, that inflates everything to like 200 pages or whatever. And it's a very like stream of conscious writing style in that book. It's very much like Ulysses in a way, just easier to read. But like this is what Middlemarch does. It's what War and Peace does. It's hard to write with the smoothing on. It's what Sound and Fury does. It's just it does the same thing, but it's not like everyone isn't in a park. They're like at their house thinking of a specific character. You have like one anchoring character that everybody thinks about and talks about, and like their lives kind of revolve around whatever this character is doing. In some, even if it's just like 5%, some people have more, 30% involved, 80% involved. Maybe they're like their best friend. They're always hanging around. I don't know. But that's what all these old books do. They do that. We'll call it the park. The park maneuver. I don't know. They do that over like whatever the plot is. The plot almost becomes like second, like not as important to whatever that is, you know? Some of these books don't even really have it. Like the plot of Mrs. Dalloway, if you were to like actually write it out, is woman throws party. That's all that happens in that book. But because we hear all these people's thoughts and opinions of everything and their backstory, we learn there was a war that happened recently, like some big battle. Their side won the battle, but they still lost like 40,000 people or something. So you just learn there's a battle, and you know, it has nothing to do with the story, but it gives it some sort of like context and emotional value or whatever. All right, back to Tifa. So, I mean, those books are still boring as fuck, but it is nice to have some sort of structure, some way to grasp what's going on at least.